What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Just wanted to give a little update to some changes that I'm making to my setup and show you the initial Dragy runs with the methanol with the previous setup in the filter. All right, let's get into it. All right, you guys can see I got some things laid out here that have to do with the changes that I'm making. You can see I got the solenoid set up to sit here. It's going to be sit right there behind the shield and everything, so it's out of the way of heat. Now I don't know if heat is going to affect it or anything. It's just I think there's just a magnet in there or whatever to open and close it. So but I just want to keep it out of heat for now and until I, if I change my setup or anything later. So then I had to like trim back here because initially when I got this, it was sitting out further and you can see it was hitting the wall there, and then it was real close to these lines. And also it just wouldn't sit down in there. You see it had these two little pegs at the bottom. They wouldn't, I think it was this one wouldn't fully seat. So what I did was I just took a 10 mil bolt to use as a spacer, and that worked. So it sits, brings it up a little bit, just barely. And then they sit in there solid now. And of course I got heat shielding on the back of this, always had that on there. And the big thing, the biggest change I made, and I wasn't even thinking about doing, I thought about doing one part of this to the throttle body, which was beveling just this entry rail right here. But what happened was, when I was about to set all this up the other day, I went to put this on here and I found that the plate, this is the Hemi throttle, this is the Hemi plate, and I found that this is actually 84 millimeter. And as you know, I got the 80 mil, the Ultracharger 80 mil setup. So this was 80 millimeter, throttle body was 80 millimeter. So I put this on there and there's a big step, and I thought that just wasn't good, especially with me injecting right there, because it would have went in and possibly could have hit that right there, and then plus just for intake flow just wouldn't have been good. So you can see the paint is off of it. I just polished it. I didn't open this at all. But you can see here, give me a minute. You can see here, I opened the tube up. I opened the tube all the way up. It's flush and everything, but I opened the tube all the way up and to 84. So this is 84 millimeter now, whereas before it was 80 mil. I mean, I did open up the other side when I ported the charger. So, and I went in about 3 or 4 inches until I felt it, everything was smooth and everything. So that's open. But also on the back of the throttle body, there was a big step also. So I opened that up too, and you can see right there. And from the factory, it's already it already has kind of a ramp down coming from the throttle plate wall right here, which I didn't touch at all. I just did this outer edge and beveled it down to open it up. So thought that would be a lot better than having a big gap there and there, because it would have made like a little pocket around here, which probably mainly wouldn't have been good for flow. The injection spray probably would have just came out and made that turn once everything, but there would have been a lot of turbulence right there. So I just went ahead and smoothed all that out. And also you can see on this side, what I did was I went ahead and just beveled the edge of this right here and then polished up to that. I didn't touch the throttle plate wall at all. You can see the little ridge is still there. And I did this before. I did this on my stage 3 all road, but on my all road I also tapered this little wall, this little ledge right there. I just tapered it down. And on my TT, which also had an 034 tune, I did the same thing. I didn't touch the back because the back is already matched to the port, and I just did the front the same way as this. So you can see it has a it's almost like a velocity stack right there, and kind of like that. So I just did that. I was like, you know, since I was doing all this, I just went ahead and did that. I'm not expecting like any big power gain or anything like that. But this, what I noticed with this is you do get faster throttle response with this, like real good throttle response doing just the edge of the mouth like that. You don't really need to polish it as long as it's smooth. I just went ahead and polished it a little bit since I was already at it. And what else is there? Oh, I'm going to be changing. Like I said, I took the nozzle out of here. This was the 034 filter, and you can see what was happening. These filters come white, so the boost juice is red, and you can see when I was injecting from here, it was just going everywhere. And I think part of the reason is, of course, the spray, and there's not a lot of vacuum from the front for it to get pulled in. But also this filter, I wish you could see in there. You're not gonna be able to see from the top, but they do have a little bit of a turn, but it's still pretty sharp. It's like that, like an L. So they have a little bit of a velocity stack. So I always wanted to switch over. I just went and got this one out of storage, and I'm going to be running this, of course, in that filter. So this is going to just make the flow maybe just a little bit better, and of course better throttle response and everything too. Velocity stacks are really good. What else? Oh man, this was a big headache. Today I was thinking about mounting this, but you can see here, let me set this phone down so you guys can see. I can use my hands. You can see here, once this goes in, and since I did all my fancy port work, you can see there's a little step right. You can see it comes out right there. And I didn't want that. And also so I can get this positioned the way I want it, and it's tight. Not just with putting thread sealing on it. I mean, like Loctite or whatever on it. So what I did today was I went ahead and I went ahead and tried to find a spacer for it, but nothing I found worked in here. So what I did was I took one of these. It was in like with some old, I have like a pail full of old bolts and stuff. And I just dug through that, found 2 of these, and I drilled out the middle so this so the nozzle would fit through it. And I had to like take a Dremel with a small Dremel with flapper wheel and ground and machine all this down. Well, sand all this down to get it to the diameter of this. And you can see I got it sitting in there now, but it was sitting out a little too high. So when I went to screw it in, I wanted it flush so that the end of the nozzle is not in the airway. So let me show you what I did, show you how it worked. And you can see now I can get it pretty tight and it's flush. And then that moves the nozzle back just a little bit. So I got more room for it to spray and come out and atomize just a little bit more. Probably not gonna make a huge difference, but I just want to have that since I did all my little fancy port work. So like I said, I think the other thing I'm gonna do is, of course, I have to wire this up now. So I'm gonna have to, which I really didn't want to do. So I'm gonna have to come all the way, do all that again, take the computer out. But what I'm gonna do, so I don't have to go back in, is there's a second stage yellow wire that's not used on these. I'm gonna go ahead and run a line, so in case I want to set that second stage power nozzle up later, I'll have it already ran. I'll just have to run the another probably another solenoid for the, yeah, I'll have to run another solenoid, because that'll be the control for that nozzle, and then just run this wire, well, the wire for the other solenoid, to wherever I leave the other wire under here. I'll probably just cap it off or something and leave it, so if I want to do that later, I'll have it. But I'm gonna it's getting late. Like I said, today is Monday. Saturday is when I found all this stuff, so I worked on porting this out Saturday. Of course, yesterday, Sunday, was Mother's Day, so I don't really do any work. And so I'm gonna set all this up tonight, put the cylinder and stuff on there, and I'll probably have to originally, you can see this has this O-ring. I think originally they had this going this way, so the paper gasket would have went here, and I think they did that because I guess they figured that methanol might seep down and it might mess up the paper gasket, so they sent, I wish they would have machined both sides. But you can also see I think they had this actually, so it would have been like that. And this one sits directly in the middle. This one over here is offset. And you can see that it actually kind of points up some. So, but the way I did it like this because, let me show you. I'm gonna have it set like this. I'm gonna have this like this, so this is going to be closer up here, so it's going to be pointing down. Whereas if I would have had it this way, with this right in the middle, the nozzle, the whole nozzle would have been pointing down even more, and I don't really want that. This way it's pointing kind of right at the shield entryway for the line. So I'll be able to have it come just like this, through there, down there, to the solenoid. All right, so I'm gonna set this up tonight, and I'm gonna come back. The next scene will be tomorrow. I'll be setting everything up. Hopefully I don't run into any more surprises. Oh, and then I'll show you guys the initial Dragy run I went out and did in comparison to my fastest runs I did. And then if I have time, I'll probably go out and do some runs with the new setup. All right, y'all, I'm back. Finally got everything together. You can see I put the solenoid down there. I left the line coming from the back of the car long for now, in case I want to change it. I just got one of those, let me see if I can get you in there so you can see. I have it hooked to that right there, so it's not moving or anything. One of those little loom holders that I had in the back, I put it on the little stand in there, so it's holding it. Then the other line is just coming through here I was a little worried, but it's not. I just took the car. Matter of fact, I took the car out not too long ago to get gas, and man, it feels good with this bevel throttle body and this velocity stack, dude. I felt a difference. Part throttle is a lot better. Even when I just get on the gas like that, you could just feel it, man. It feels like it has more torque. But that's probably just a better throttle response. So, but anyway, this is the velocity stack that's center. I had 2 of them in store, so I just went and got one so I could put it in here. It's the same thing I had in here already with this filter before I changed to before I changed everything, but I had on the old setup that was inside the modified air box, but that one was a 3.5 with the better to me the better velocity stack from Skunk Works, but it was 3.5 inch. This one's 4 inch. So what I did was I had some extra time. I mean, that night I had to wait until the next day to do some more work on the car. So I was just looking at little stuff, and I put this inside the hose, and then you can see this thick piece right here, and the wall of the hose would be back here. So there's kind of a little step. Doesn't really affect it much because the air is going this way. Now, if the air was going this way and it was hitting it, it'd probably affect it a little bit more. Not much, because it's not that big of a step. Same reason why I did the throttle body, the intake tube after this, because there would have been a big step. So what I did was I sanded this down. I beveled this down right here to where it meets the hose, to where it meets the wall of the hose. But I didn't really do a transition like that. I tried to do like a straight transition down to the hose, so it's kind of more part of the wall of the hose. It's almost like one piece. So I figured I'd get a little bit better flow just from that. And another thing I did was, some of the velocity stacks don't have a flat edge like this, and from what I've tested, if you get the one with the flat edge like this and you set it up like how I did, you can see you could just stick it in here like that. But what I did was I made sure that I positioned it where the edge of this wall right here is at the entryway of the filter. So this, inside the filter, this is like right here. And the reason why I did that is because to get the full benefit of the velocity stack, I want the air to have a more likelihood of coming in here and making this turn. That's why this is called a velocity stack. It has to make this turn right here, which speeds up the air. And if I set it back, because this has, you can see, it has room back there where I could have set it like way back here. If I set it back there, it would have hit the sides of this first, and a more likelihood of it coming in from here. So I always set mine up like this on these flat ones, so for that reason. And this is the 034, which is still a real good setup. Still flows good and everything, but let me see if you can see. They have like a real small velocity stack in here. See if you can get in it. That's it right there. But you can see it's still like a sharp turn. And the other thing that they did was this right here. You can see they have that little ledge. So when this goes in here, it is seamless, dude. They did real good. Let me try to get it in there so you can see. See if I can do this with one hand. There. So you can see right there, it meets the edge of that lip that they had. So the air comes in right there and it's just smooth, man. They did a real good job with that. So nothing wrong with theirs. I just always had real good luck with these. I'd be surprised to see, like, I can't really tell because I did the throttle body. But from what I've tested before, there was always a difference of me running a filter like this versus like that. I'm not saying so much in overall flow, but in part throttle flow, like throttle response, I've always seen more throttle response with these set up the way that I have them. But we will see. So I'm gonna wait for it to get a little dark and then we'll get out. If I got time, I'll probably actually do the runs live. If not, I'll get out, probably do a little talking, and try to keep this video short and just post the times from when I ran last time compared to now, and we'll see what happens. So y'all wish me luck. All right, y'all, that was cool. Beat my old record. You can see I got everything apart here, and I tell you what happened. I finally got the water methanol tune from 034, uploaded it, and this was some weeks later because I had to do some work on my son's GTI and my nephew's A4 that I'm still working on. But uploaded the tune and everything, and I mean, nothing catastrophic failure, nothing happened like that, nothing bad, but got out, going to do some runs, and the power cut came back. Every time, just like before, from way back in January, power cut came back where I would cut out just before the quarter mile. So all my times were slower. I would get like, I think the fastest time I got was like a 10.94 because it would cut out after the 8th mile, right before the quarter mile, and I would of course slow down. Plus I was going uphill and everything. So I did 4 runs and they were all, you know, just got slower from there after that. But I was able to log during one run, during the quarter mile run. I sent that in to 034, so gonna be waiting to get back. But also, I have of course been sending logs into them regularly, you know, during each change that I was making, and they told me that what they were seeing was I was getting knock on both banks, some pretty good knock on both banks. And they said it was a little bit more on the, well, they said it was quite a bit more on bank 2 on the driver's side. So, and they said that's mostly indicating that I have, with everything else they looked at the fuel rail pressure. They said the fuel rail pressure was good. Of course, the HPF is still running pretty high. But they said, taking everything into account, it looks like I got bad fuel injectors. So I took all this apart because I went ahead and ordered brand new OEM fuel injectors from FCP Euro, full set. And while I'm in there, I'm going to go ahead and do a carbon clean. I'm gonna change the PCV. I'm gonna stick with Hank's because this one hasn't been giving me a problem, so I figured go ahead and change the same thing. I'm still running the racing thermostat, the low temp one, so I'm gonna switch back to the OEM thermostat. And what else? I'm gonna change this hose. I think I was getting a small leak from there before. I don't see it now, but I'm gonna go ahead and change that. And I might go ahead and change the oil filter housing. I'm not getting any leaks, but I figure while I'm in here, might as well do everything. So, oh, and I gotta still do this valve cover gas. I did this one, you guys saw in the video before, not too long ago, but this is the one I couldn't get you because the charger was on. So I'm going to be doing that. And I did order this from 034 to do a walnut blast. But when I got in here, check out what I found. on cylinder 3 back here. Take this out. You can see them valves are nearly clean. Now the rest of them, they are, let me take these out. The rest of them, they are, they do have carbon on them. So I don't know why this one is so clean, because I'm pretty sure that it's not just getting a lot of the water methanol, because I did ask them about that, to look at both banks, and they said no, they don't really see like a big variance between the two. So they said it looks like I'm getting pretty good spray, well, pretty good methanol delivery to all the banks from what they saw. So I'm thinking, I know a while back I had that bad intercooler on this side, and it looks like the leak was over this one in the back, but it was a super small leak. Because I remember pressuring this up, couldn't see anything. I had to hold it for a minute, and just barely a drop came out. But I'm thinking, because it's aluminum, under pressure, the little hole might have opened up and probably was just steam cleaning this or something. I don't know. But anyway, gonna get in here, do all this. Got my work cut out for me, y'all. Am I forgetting anything to tell you guys? I think that's it, but looks like port matching the throttle body and tube did give me a little bit of power. So I got some ideas now. I'm thinking maybe if I got the 034 84 millimeter throttle body, because the plate would be bigger, I think it's bigger, should maybe get me a little bit more power, maybe. And then got some ideas to do some more porting on the charger, but I'll probably do that way down the line. Then I got some ideas to maybe optimize a few more things. So I'll be hitting all that up pretty soon, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here, because I got a lot of work to get to, y'all. Let me know if you guys got any ideas, any advice or anything. Maybe you guys have been through this. I'm still was getting the belt noise. I mean, all new tensioners. I just been lazy, never got around to messing with it. But now while all this is out, I'm going to go ahead and see what the issue is with it, and hopefully I'll get it. But that's going to be it for this one, y'all. I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.